All right.
We here.
We're back.
We here. Asian Soul Food. Asian Soul Food. Asian Soul Food. We are here. We have a special guest
Today.
We're super excited.
Very.
Hello out there in podcast land, radio land. My pastor back then, they used to say highways and byways and all that good stuff. I want Michael to introduce Shannon. Because this is my first time meeting Shannon, y'all. So I'm going to be getting to know her as well as everyone on YouTube and Spotify and where else we got this shit at. So, Mike, please,
Shannon,
introduce. I'm excited.
First of all, I want to say that her music is fire. She's a very talented young songwriter, singer as well. She, I saw some of your video on YouTube. What's the biggest view that you got on YouTube? 40 million or how?
Yeah, that was for the song with Pooh Bear, A Long Time.
Shout out Pooh Bear.
Yes.
Nice.
I used to get called that back in the day.
Yes. And doing super well. You guys should go ahead and search Shannon K on YouTube and see some of her stuff. It's just absolutely incredible. So
Thank you.
how old are you, by the way?
I am 19.
We got 19.
See that?
Yes.
Wow. And I looked at your followers. You got 3.1 million followers. How is that at 19? Is that like pressure? Like kind of, that's a lot of people to be following you. It's a lot of pressure.
A lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure and responsibility at the same time. But I just stick to being myself.
So how did that grow? Like, so, I mean, I'm going to learn about you. So obviously it's always the normal question. What age did you start singing? Like, so how did I know your dad was obviously a big famous singer in India. So obviously was that something that in the bloodline that growing up seeing him sing is something that you wanted to do? So kind of how did you get started into this?
I mean, I would say it was something like that. Obviously, I would always watch my dad, sing and everything. And I remember like at the age of 3, I would just like beg him to take me to his like recording sessions and just sit there and like, watch him do his thing. And it was just something that I always wanted to do, and then the difference is that he's a Bollywood singer, but I chose my passion in the Western music.
Okay.
So, because I was born in India, but I was raised in London. So that's where I got my musical training from.
Circle.
Yes. I got my training from Royal Music of London.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I started off with like classical music, opera and everything. But then, somewhere in the back of my mind, I was like, I used to listen to artists like Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, Celine Dion, and all these.
Okay, I was about to say, I was waiting for Mike to break out in song.
What?
You said Mariah Carey. I thought you were going to start singing some Mariah Carey
He's
song.
a huge fan.
No,
so
I'm a huge fan.
I know you are. I was waiting. I was like, okay, he's about to sing. And then nothing came out. Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
So you were listening to Mariah, Celine, Whitney when you were, how old? When you were like...
I was like, I don't know, 10, 11.
Which one of your favorite Whitney Houston songs?
It has to be I Will Always Love You.
Oh.
I would
Is that
like...
and die?
Yeah.
That's a good song, yeah.
Like
That is a good
literally
song.
just listen and try to learn that. And at the age of 10, it was like very hard. Because I mean, it still is,
Yeah.
But I remember singing, My Heart Will Go On in front of my mom and my dad. And I think somewhere, my dad kind of like saw that little spark in me, and he was like, you do have the talent of singing. You just got to keep like working on it and keep polishing. And, who knows, you might go far.
Nice. That's good. It's good to have parents. Because, I mean, culturally, obviously Mike, in his background and in your background, is singing something is the norm? Like, what is in the Indian culture like? Is it more like, I know in the Caribbean culture, it's like, no, you trying to be an actor or whatever, you to be a doctor, a lawyer, be something that's going to make money. Is that the same culturally? And when you say like, oh, I'm going to be a Bollywood actress or I'm going to be a Hollywood actress or a singer, is that looked frowned upon? Like, how is that culturally for you?
Well, I would say that most of like the Indian South Asian kind of like community and families, they always like, you know, tell their children to like, you know, finish your schooling in high school, get a graduation degree and all that stuff. And most of them, I know that, you know, they want their children to be like a doctor or a lawyer or something like that. But then there are parents like mine, you know, who do see that kind of potential in the artistic field, and they kind of like encourage. Though I would say that they always told me to like, you know, get good grades, which I never did. But
no, really?
Yeah, right.
You don't have no good grades?
Look at Mike. Oh, not
Yo, I was talking.
You will focus on...
I was talking to my best friend yesterday, and we were just saying like how much I failed in like all my classes. Like I literally got like 28% on my physics test. Like that was my final exam.
Did they give you a hard time when you like flunk a few classes and didn't do well academically?
I would never show my report card, but there is such thing as email, so they got to know.
Yeah, my mom got. Is this? See, I'm a little older than everyone in here, but like. I remember when my mom used to try to get my report card. He's like, we only get, that's only for the students. She would get so mad. Is it still the same? Like it only goes to you. They can't call.
Like so they give us like the main like, you know, drafts to us, but they also email it to our parents, which I really hate.
Okay, so I didn't do that when I was in college.
Yeah, and then you have like the parents teacher meeting, you know, where like the teachers
like high school.
Finally say like, you know, how well you're doing. So I would always try to bribe my teachers, but I know it works.
What was a punishment for something like that? It was like, you're not going to studio this week.
Yeah. I mean, I was always like focused into music, but it wasn't like as you know, as it is right now. Like I'm fully, you know, into music, but before it was like juggling with school and music, and music was like sort of like a hobby for me at that time, you know, because I was just so into like schooling and everything.
It's funny when you say music, because it is true. When you growing up and you're figuring out, you know, what you want to do. And anytime it comes, it's funny because anytime it comes to like the arts, right? It's always, oh, this is a hobby. That should just be a hobby.
At the beginning.
In the beginning, because even just parents, because people think being a doctor or a lawyer or whatever, that is your focus. That's what you're supposed to do in life. And anything that's more creative is a hobby, which we got to start normalizing that if you want to be in the arts, that can't be a hobby. You can't, you know, be an artist or a musician or whatever part-time. You just can't. Like, that's even like...
You don't think it's doable?
No, it's not doable. You got to... If you want to do something...
Like part-time, somebody, let's say they want to focus on, you know, still want to go through a certain route, you know, be a doctor, and then at the same time pursuing like a music career.
I don't think it's possible. Go ahead. I'll let you.
Yeah. I would agree with Sean. I don't think it's possible. It's actually very hard, you know, because for something like music or acting or anything, you know, artistic, you have to give it your all in. You know, you can't just be like half here and half there. And there's a lot of patience. There's a lot of, you know, emotions and everything into it. You know, like as an artist, you're very sensitive and vulnerable. So you need to be in that sort of zone, and you need to be passionate. You need to be determined. You need to be like, you know, on top of your game.
Just like Erykah Badu said it best. I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit.
So at the beginning, you already knew, like, and when you're 13, 14 years old, you're like, I'm an artist. This is my full-time job. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I knew that I wasn't going to end up going to college based on my high school grades. And I was like, and even in school, like I remember like I would always participate in like music competitions and like, you know, like school plays and everything. And I wanted that attention. I wanted that spotlight on me.
Yeah, of course.
You know?
Yeah.
So I think I kind of realized that this is where I want to be at. And I was very shy though. Like I was very introvert, and I still am. So it's always a surprise to people when they hear me sing or when they look at my music videos and they're like, who is this? Like, she's so different. But
a lot of artists are introvert. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think because you're so used to being in the spotlight and you know how to turn it on, and also you know how to turn it off. So, you know, I think Michael Jackson was an introvert, you know? You know, a lot of artists are very much to themselves. Like some of the things also when you meet like famous comedians.
Yeah.
Even though they're funny on stage, they're mean as fuck.
Like, I bet.
Real life, they just mean as hell. You know what I mean? But it's just because they're introverted. They're so used to just turn it on. And at some point, you just kind of want to be subdued in your own artistry. You want to kind of just collect your own thoughts. And because you put on a show every night or every day, like I said, you got 3.1 million. I couldn't handle that. Every little thing you do.
Talking about that, that's a lot. You know, when you first get started, do you have any kind of following? What would you start it at?
When I first started, it was like about 100 followers, and that was
100 followers.
But that was only like my friends, you know, like people who I knew. But then as I kind of like started releasing my songs and everything, and more people got to know me, and obviously I had like, you know, fans from my dad's side.
Okay.
You know, they don't usually listen to English music, but they did for me, which I'm really, you know, thankful about. But yeah, so, you know, the kind of like the fans sort of are divided right now. They're kind of scattered all over the place. There are like some in India, and then there's like a couple from like Europe, because that's where I was from.
Okay.
And then a little bit over here in the States. So
how was it for your family when you said you chose to do music more on the Western side and not culturally like following after your dad or anyone else that's in India and doing that type of music? Like, how was that transition? Was it like, why do you want to do that? You should be singing in Bangladesh.
No, I think they were very open to that, and they very much like encouraged me and you know, motivated me to do whatever is that I like. Though my dad did say that just because I am, you know, a Bollywood singer and I have like I may have connections, I may not, but this is your battle and you got to do it by yourself.
Okay.
You know, you got to fight, you got to prove to the people that you have the talent, that you can sing. I'm not going to be no help for you. So if you're choosing this based on like, oh, I have a huge, you know, dad and huge following, so I'll get it all easy, you're totally wrong.
Okay, Dad. Shout out, Dad. He said, I'm going to push this little birdie out.
Yeah, I mean,
Smart.
you know, he
That's a
taught
good
me
idea.
what, because he wanted me to also experience like the life itself. You know, you don't always get things the easier way.
No,
You know,
you got to put the
there's-
work in.
Yeah.
Mike said it best. You got to put the work in. You know, because essentially you're an entrepreneur. You know, entrepreneur doesn't just mean, you know, you create an LLC and you're starting to sell license insurance or whatever. You know, you becoming an artist. So that essentially you got to look at what you do as a job. You know, as an entrepreneur, you got to also know the business. You got to know about publishing. You got to know about your percentages, how to negotiate with the producers, how you get your records out. So and you're 19. When's your birthday?
June 16th.
Oh, so you turning 20.
20.
Oh, we about to get
Coming
lit.
up.
We're going to
Okay,
get
wow.
right to the birthday party. Y'all can't bring no liquor. I had to put in a little thing. You know.
I'm getting old.
I know you had a video that really blew up. Was that the pivotal point of where obviously your followers came up, and then how did that transition to then you having to really like become a businesswoman? Like, how is that for you now in music from young age and now? Like, how is that transition?
I mean, you know, before it was just like, I want to be an artist, I want to sing, I want to perform. Nothing like, I had no knowledge on the business side of it. You know, I just wanted to be like my dad, you know, just doing things, singing around and all that stuff.
Right.
But then, you know, there were like a lot of times where I felt like I was ending up in a loophole, you know, how it is in business and everything. And I had no idea like as to what they were asking and all that stuff, like from the business point of view. And I was just so confused. I was like, wait, but I'm an artist. Why am I supposed to know all this? Like,
Right.
Yeah.
what is this?
Right.
I still don't. I'm still trying to like figure out like the business side of it. I think it's, you know, music is now more leaning towards like the business rather than keeping it more artistic and creative,
yeah.
you know, which is, it's kind of sad, but
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is.
I get it. I mean, it's funny when I worked in music many moons ago. You know, oftentimes artists are like that. You know, it's like they have their managers, they have their agents, and their whole thing is, I want to be an artist, but they forget about the business. And then that's why when you look back in the day, you look at, well, how did so-and-so get in these faulty contracts? Or why would they sign that? Because they didn't really understand the business. And so as, you know, we move into different generations, it's important for the business to really be first. And it sucks because like the creativity have to be second. And then you got to, at least in music, I feel like, you know, no shade to any music managers or agents or whatever, but it's a little shady in the music business. And when it comes to like your publishing splits and where you write your music at, like That's all important things that you have to learn. Do you have like a team or like kind of how do you handle your business now? Or are you like, I am woman, I handle it all myself?
No way. No. I'm more towards the creative side. I do have a team, but I always make sure that I'm a part of it so I know whatever is that's going on. Because like I feel like as an artist, a lot of times people tend to take advantage of you and your music. So as long as you know how to protect yourself and your music from people and
the vultures.
Don't like believe everybody in the industry.
Interesting.
Because I've had a lot of times where I've like done meetings with people and like so-called business people, and instead of like some of them, it was really funny because like some of them would just like come and intimidate you and put you down, and stuff, and the others would just like hype you up and like give you fake hopes and stuff.
Yeah, you got
like
the
that.
yes people and you got the haters. Pretty much.
So don't believe everything that's been said.
That's true. Watch the bullshit, folks. Are you your own songwriter? Like how's your music process?
My sister and I, my sister is a songwriter and a producer. She is 17, but she is like so amazing. Like
nice.
Yeah, you've heard of one of her, music as well. So yeah, we both write together and everything. And she is like my pillar, I don't think I would have been here if it wasn't for her.
Wow, and she's the baby sister.
Yeah, she's a baby sister.
Okay,
but
shout out.
like,
What's your baby sister's name?
Annabelle.
Okay, Annabelle.
Shout out to Annabelle.
We come up with a lot of songs we write, and I think our message is just to give out positivity and love, and just how it was back in the days. Like music gave you happiness. Music, gave you positivity and everything, and also like sharing stories and experiences from things. So like, for example, my sister and I, we wrote a song based on bullying because we had experienced that a lot being South Asian. I had been bottling it up for a really long time, especially because of like social media and the trolls and the haters out there. And then one day, my sister and I, we just wanted to like, she kind of said that, do you want to write about it? Like, are you okay to just sort of talk about it? And I was like, yeah, I think I am, because, I wanted to not just like share my story and my side of the, experience, but also like give others who are suffering, a little motivation and telling them that they're not alone in this.
So you went through some bullying for some time. Was that through like middle school, high school?
Yeah.
And then what was some of the bullying things that you dealt with? I mean, if you want to talk about it.
Yeah. And what about the South Asian thing? Is that like that plays a big part because of that?
So basically, I'm an adopted child.
Oh,
and
okay.
Yeah, and so I guess the story begins from there.
Oh, wow.
So I would say that it started from like within the society and the community itself, because I was adopted. I was a little different from the rest of my family. I was a little darker from the rest of my family. So I would always get these. I mean, I was very young. I was like, I don't know, 2 or 3. But I felt the that the people would like treat me differently to my sister and everything. I remember like one time we had like family friends come over, and they rushed and they hugged my sister, they carried her and all that, and I was just waiting in the corner to be like noticed as well. And they just came and they said hi, but nothing else, So I used to feel that kind of like difference.
Do you feel it was that because your skin tone, or just because you just felt like, oh, I'm new in this family, they know I'm not a part of it?
I mean, I didn't know that until like I was old enough to understand. But back then I felt it, and I would just go to my mom and I would like, tell her and cry up to her because I didn't like that. And my mom, she was such a big support. She loved me like anything, and then she was like, don't care about those people. Because we love you and you're our family. And that's what they like. My parents till now, they've treated me like I'm theirs, and I am.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, and so it carried on when I moved to London and here in the States, just like basic bullying and like making fun of my color, making fun of like my speech, because I had a little speaking problem. I used to lisp.
Impediment?
Yeah, I used to lisp a little.
See, Mike?
What about me?
Mike was talking about it earlier. He was a Invisalign, and he was like, "Do I have a lisp?" I said, "That's okay. You have a lisp." I know guys that got lisp, and
that's fine.
It's natural.
That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you were like in middle school or was it in elementary school when you had these?
Yeah, I was in middle school. And I did not like that at all and then I think all these kind of experiences made me really like timid and introvert, and I didn't want to like, showcase that I want to sing or something like that. But then again, music is my passion, and this is something that I wanted to do. So whenever I had the chance in school, I would just like take that opportunity.
Nice.
But yeah, so, and then I think it just increased when, I started doing this like professionally. And then, we got introduced to social media, and that was the worst because, I had like people attacking me whom I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Like those are the worst ones, the anonymous haters.
I always say if you look up the word toxic, Instagram symbol is going to be there, or some social media, because it's weird when you, like I said, it's bullying is across the board, cyberbullying, in-person bullying. And I know so many people, one of my friends was doing well on TikTok, but then when you look over his comments, it was like, oh, you're ugly, you're this, you're gay, you're that. And I was like, who is it that much hate for someone to do that? If you're looking at someone on Instagram that you got to say something derogatory or negative, it's so sad.
Doesn't make any sense.
Kudos to you for like, being able to kind of fight through that bullying, because it's important. We need young women like yourself and men as well, like, to fight against those people who are bullying, especially when it comes to just being diverse and from a different culture, whether it's your skin tone or, you're not from the US. It's very important to like, be an example of, I'm Indian, I'm proud of it. Yes, I'm a darker skinned woman, but I'm proud of it. And I'm going to continue to show you how great I am.
There's still like so many times that I get told that, oh, you don't look Indian, or like, oh, you're too pretty to be Indian, or too light to be Indian. And I'm just like,
black people be like, yes, that Indian. You know what I mean? Like, you crazy? No,
that is wild.
It is. I mean,
who
it is
said
gorgeous
that to
me.
I mean that,
So I just think that whatever it is, just like showcase it through your through your work. And I think as a person of color, our responsibility is just to like, just to like call out all our community and show them that they can be a part of this too, and they don't have to be afraid. I think we are like the example. We're setting an example for the rest of the people, so that's what we should do.
You can be an indie artist and make money now. No one chooses who's going to be a star anymore. So how is that for you branding wise? Like, is it difficulty right now when it comes to, especially in the world we live in now?
Totally. Yeah. I think back then when I started off, it was just really hard to find myself. I was still very iffy and struggling in terms of like what my brand is. I hated that word because it was like all the conversations that I've had, like always had to stop with the word brand in it. And I was like so confused. And so I took time out and I started to like really get to know myself, who I really am and everything. And I think over the years, I finally found, what my brand is, what I want to share through my music, what I want to talk about and everything. And I feel like back then I was just trying to fit in with the rest, the society. And I had been told by a lot of people as well that, maybe you should change your hair color, maybe you should change your name, maybe like, try like singing rap or something like that, just try to fit in. And so
Shannon K, yes, I can see that.
I mean, I don't know. I rapped
That's
once.
That's a rap name though.
I did.
Shannon K. Oh.
I mean, for sure, I would love to, but I just rapped once, and then my sister like almost kicked me out of the house. So I don't think I'm gonna do that yet.
Not yet. Okay.
But yeah, like branding wise, I think it's just important to be yourself, and this is where the culture comes. It's so important. Like if you are, an African American, if you are Asian, if you're South Asian, show that through your brand, like embrace that. And that is what's gonna make you stand out from the rest. And it's okay. Like right now we are, accepting all this diversity. So this is your chance to like showcase who you are.
Yeah.
This is your chance to just like, go out there and say, hey, I love Indian food. yeah, branding wise, I mean, right now I'm just like embracing myself. Like I wore, first time I wore a very beautiful Indian traditional outfit in my music video.
I saw it. Because you had two shots that like, you had a shot where I think it was like a pink background, right? And then you had a shot when you like in the house and the Indian culture. I actually would have just liked those two cuts because I love seeing you in your Indian garb. Like I just thought it was dope. I was like, see, we watched it 2 days ago or a day ago. I was like, I love to see her in that. Cause now it's like, okay, yeah, she's Indian. I get the culture, but she's singing this Western music. And even if you did the dance, whatever, I don't know what to call it. What's the dance? What's the explain the dances? I don't want to say the wrong
there are
thing.
different names of it, so you just can say classical, Indian classical.
Indian classical, right? Yeah. Like I love that. And then and then when you cut to like the pink background, right? It was like, oh, okay, this is her. Okay, oh, great. Like I love that. So that's what I'm saying. I like to embrace stuff like even when you look at Beyonce and she did like, the African dancing and stuff like I love stuff. I think that's why I said branding and what you're saying with culture is so important because people are not starting as they should have been already, but they embrace those things. They love seeing like I love Afro beats. So you put Afro beats on, I might, you know what I'm saying?
Hey.
A lot of people do that right now.
Right.
The Afro beats. Yeah.
I love Afro beats.
Yeah, it's awesome. And in the next 10 years, I think it's going to be awesome. I always say that. Awesome for minority people, though.
Yeah, no,
it's
totally.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, branding is so funny when you talk about branding because it is, and that goes across the board, whether you're an artist or even like, if you talk about writers, actors, directors, they all have a brand. I have writers that we represent where it's like if they say, Sean, we need an action writer. I know that's going to be this writing team. Or, oh, you know what? We're looking for such and such for a kids thing. Oh, I know it's going to be this writing team I have. Or more of a thriller or this, then I have this right. So, brand, and sometimes writers, like musicians, they all artists. They all kind of like, well, I don't want to be boxed in. I write horror. We're like, stop writing the fucking horror script then. But it's okay. I think it's okay to brand yourself as an artist, whether you're doing R&B, pop, country, or if you're a writer and you're a horror writer or a thriller writer, or you just write Lifetime movies. Some people love Lifetime movies, so I think the branding is important. Even for, if you talk about the podcast game, like even for this is a certain brand and it's cultural POVs. We're talking everything from music to politics to just business, entrepreneurship, and it's a certain brand and people are going to gravitate to that brand. Why? Because, we have Asian, you got soul food, you know what I mean? Now we got Bangladesh Asian soul food. I don't know. It's a fusion right now. So I think branding is, very important. And, especially in the business world and like, do you feel as you get older, your brand would change? Or do you feel like what you have now is like your staple?
I am very confident as to see like where, it's going to take me, like brand. I've always sort of changed myself. But I know that I've found like the core of it, core of my brand. So I'm going to stick to that, and which is like my culture, embracing my ethnicity and that. And I'm going to be using that a lot in my music or in, my personality and just even like in terms of like speaking, like, showcasing like, my values and my opinions, because it might vary between like you or you. So, yeah, but I feel like, maybe 3 years from now, I mean, I probably will be looking like someone completely different to what I look like now.
Possible.
It is possible.
No, I mean,
and it's a good
like
thing.
Dating.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
My friends tease me back when I was in my early 20s. I was, you date younger people, right? And so, and then, when it don't work out, and then you meet that younger person you dated 5 or 7 years from now, it's like, damn. You had that now.
Already.
No, because you like, the maturity is different, right?
Yeah.
So my friends always would teach me like, oh yeah, Sean dated such and such. Yeah, they went through that charm school because I was older and I was like, they ain't be doing this, And then when you meet them years later, it's like, yeah, you're good, But that's it's just kind of how it is, in the world right now. Like, Mike, you're gonna be a different person.
Sure, a couple
3
years from now,
I'm gonna be a different person.
And that's your brand.
Right, exactly.
That's the brand. We all have our, right now, especially in social media age, we're all personal brand, right? Essentially.
Yeah, no, totally. And since you're talking about brand segue, I was listening to the Breakfast Club and they had an artist on there and he was just talking about, streaming comparable to radio play, right? And like we said, we talk about anyone can be an artist nowadays based on YouTube and the Spotify's and all the stream platforms. But he was saying on this particular interview that you're still not going to be the artist that you need to be unless you get radio play. So how do you feel about that now with this new day and age where as an artist, yes, you can get as much distribution anywhere now. But do you still feel like radio is where it's going to take you from being just an artist to a star? Like, kind of, how do you feel what that is now?
For sure, I think so. I mean, everybody can be an artist right now, and then everybody is trying to be an artist right now. It's very easy to say that, hey, I'm an artist, but how many people know you? If your songs are playing on the radio, if you're streaming well, that's extremely important, especially in the business side, if you're trying to like pitch yourself to a label or someone like that, the first thing they would see is like, are your songs playing on the radio? Or like how, many followers do you have on Spotify? How many streams do you have? And, that's kind of sad because they don't look at the talent. They don't look at you as an artist. They look at the business side of it. But that's the reality of it. So I think it is important to have your songs be played on, on the radio. But I feel like right now, if your songs are even like on TikTok, you can get famous. I mean, there's so many songs that I didn't hear on the radio, but I heard like from TikTok
There's
itself.
There's a playlist on Apple on TikTok hits.
Yeah.
And they are actually pretty good.
Like,
actually, there are some of them songs are pretty good, but they're not on radio though. They're they become gradually become big artists, but they're not on radio.
I feel like the radios are now just like taking in like the major artists, But if you want to like go under the layers and want to find some like underrated, really cool artists, like really talented ones, then you can always find them anywhere. I mean, like the creativity is never hidden from anybody. It's just for you to explore and find out.
Yeah, I mean, I think I probably downloaded a good 8 artists that I heard on TikTok.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, who's this? And I just downloaded, who's this? I downloaded, and especially when people do the song when they got to dance.
Right now, you think because of technology, our music is actually getting worse and worse? You had that feeling? What do you think about that?
Robotic.
It is. Well, it's not getting worse. It's just like the originality is like kind of lacking. Like it's the talent. Like, are you actually are able to sing or not? That's like the difference, because like we have so much technology. It's actually also great because like you don't need to be like in the moment to be able to like record. You could just be like send something through your voice note and just like do all that stuff. Everything is happening like through that. So it's great. It's like you can make music from your bedroom. That's like amazing. And everything. But I just feel like there is a very thin line between if you are actually talented or if it's like...
Ooh, that's true.
That's interesting.
That's very true, because there's a lot of some faulty singers out here, and you'd be like, how the hell they get past the damn line on the radio?
They got auto-tune right now. Even Post Malone himself, he after his Grammy performance,
I love T-Pain.
After his Grammy performance, he said, thank God I have auto-tune right now. Before I couldn't sing at all. Right now I can put me on pitch. I can do all kinds of stuff. So the barrier of talent, when we say talent, it actually dropped quite a bit. So for a lot of people, it may be, I was thinking, it's horrible. A lot of talented singers, they don't come out, right? They don't come out as easily.
Right.
So a lot of faulty singers, they will come to the top. But at the same time, you just lower the barrier for a lot more people. Like right now, what do you think about, these music being overly, making women overly sexualized? I think if you see the chart, like, top 10, Billboard and all that stuff, I would say probably 5 of the songs by female singers, they're all about, before it was so subtle, right? Mariah would never sing like that, wouldn't expose herself this way. But right now we got, obviously, Cardi B with a WAP, right? I sent the entire translation to my mom. She
liked it?
She liked it. She was like, oh my God, that's what you guys listening to? She was so shocked. But yeah, what do you guys think about that? Because the almost all.
I ain't
the
a woman,
female
so I
songs.
don't even say from a man perspective. So I'll leave
want
that
to
to
ask
you.
you. Yeah.
I come from a very conservative place, you know, being South Asian. It's if you were to sing or rap something like that, that's just extremely vulgar and very bad. Because we've always valued music. We've always seen music as an art, as like God's blessing. So, you know, and we've always grown up like listening to, you know, actual like legends, you know, like I said, Whitney Houston, Lionel Richie, Bryan Adams, you know, all these people like Nirvana. I mean, yeah, I mean, these people were just like, they set the bar so up high, you know, and so we would like always look up to them and you know, imagine ourselves being just like them. And then when you come down and listen to like people like Cardi B or Megan Thee Stallion, Doja Cat, and all these people, you're just like, where's the music though?
Because like it's dumbed down a little bit.
Yeah, there's no music. It's more like using different things to get yourself more famous. Like, oh, if I'm not gonna like show myself, you know, show my body, I don't think my music is gonna be like on the top charts. But that's not it. Like, you should like be, you know, you should have confidence with your music and everything. And I just feel like, and it's just not good for the women out there as well, because you know there's so many people, women especially, who are still dealing with, you know, with things like domestic violence or abuse, or you know, we still have human trafficking going on and all that stuff.
Wild.
And then on social media, you just see like, you know, young girls, like 13-year-olds, 12-year-olds, like twerking on a song that they don't even know the lyrics of. Like, they don't even know what that means, but they just do it because
it's a fad.
You know, it's like a trend. Everybody's doing it. I want to fit in. I want to be a part of it. You know, I don't want to be like the kid in the corner, you know, who knows nothing. And I think that's just
a little sad, huh?
It's sad. It's very sad.
You know, I
like,
agree with you. I mean, when you put it that way, you know, because I think, you know, from a male perspective, you know, we looking at it like, oh, sex sells, right? But when you really kind of dive into it, and you know, music is a curator of life, right? Anytime you listen to music, it puts you in a sense of nostalgia. It gives you a memory. It makes you happy. It makes you sad. That's the beautiful thing about music. And so, like, when you think about, you know, visually, and you have the young kids that's dealing with body shaming or whatever, and they see that and they feel like that's what I should, for me to be noticed, I need to be half naked. So, you know, it can play on the perception of a young child's mind, right? So, you know, so I it's always like that side, and this other side where it's like, okay, it's just fun, you know, and women are, and then the other flip side is for most people argue is like, okay, this is, and I'm not talking as a woman, I'm just saying what I'm hearing, but this is more of a celebration of women, right? Where it's like they can talk about WAP, or they can talk about over-sexualizing themselves and embracing who they are, and if it makes you feel uncomfortable, then it makes you feel uncomfortable. But this is who I am as a woman.
When you say sex sells, when you say sex sells, it makes me think of Britney Spears, right?
Here you go.
Yeah, well, Britney Spears used had all those. Hold on.
Here we go. Hit it, baby.
She didn't go so explicit. That's my problem with it. Britney,
Mike.
No, Britney did not go so.
She was 12 years old in the cheerleader talking about some, my loneliness is killing me. And
I must confess,
still believe.
You sharp. But anyway, sharp.
But that song is already considered very edgy back then.
Right.
But there's not like WAP, not even close to WAP.
I'm not sure whether you got a chance to look at her documentary, but like she spoke out about it, you know, like she was told by like her manager or someone, you know, there's always someone telling you like you need to look sexy because you're not beautiful, you need to do this, you need to take your clothes off, you need to do that, you need to like make sexy songs to get yourself out.
Do you believe there is that flip side of like the WAP songs or whatever song where it's more like they see it as more of an celebration of their body
I see your
being
point.
able to
I see your point.
Talk about that.
I just
so
disagree.
many years, you know, women were, you know, they cook, they clean, they suppress themselves, you cover yourself up. This is the man doing it. Now it's like, no, fuck you. I'm going to talk about my WAP. I'm going to talk about, I don't cook, I don't clean, but I'm going to show you how I got this ring. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I mean, go for it. If you're a woman and you want to celebrate your body, go for it, you know, because that, like you just said right now, before, you know, women were only allowed to do certain things.
Right.
And so we have come, you know, through a
They
lot.
could revolt. That ain't that long ago.
Like we're
You know?
very vocal, but then again, you know, doing that same thing at the Grammys, I just didn't, you know.
You didn't like the Grammy performance? You thought it was too sexy?
I stopped. I didn't even watch the Grammys this
Me,
year.
I didn't. I watched clips of like performances.
Yeah, I watched the clips and everything, and I just didn't wanna because it was just so disrespectful of not just music, but just like the platform that you are in. Like Grammys back in the days was just so amazing. Like you would have huge legends sitting, and you know, and now it's just like, what is this?
Yeah.
You know?
Do you think the disrespect of the Grammys is because everyone feel like the Grammys is a fraud? Like so many people get snubbed each and every year. Like there's no reason why Nicki Minaj shouldn't have a Grammy. There's no reason why.
She has not had
None.
one.
None.
Cardi B had one. No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cardi B had a few or one.
I think she has one right now. She has one. She got nominated, but like, if
that's
something happened,
interesting.
God forbid, something happened to Nicki Minaj today or tomorrow, right? She would get so many flowers,
Yeah.
so many flowers. Then it'd be like honorary Grammy.
Yeah.
And when Nicki came out, and that time she came out as a female rapper, I mean, she had bars. She hit you with the hood shit, and then she okay, I'm gonna give you the international pop shit. Then she went to the pop stuff. Like,
Oh, she was pretty good.
she was great. I was listening to one of her songs. I think
was just
Chung Lee.
listening.
I listened to Chung Lee the other day.
Chung Lee is a newer song.
No, well, not new, but it's,
newer song. I was listening to Starship. You guys know that song?
Yeah.
Starship is good. Yeah, but I'm just saying, like Chung Lee,
Yeah.
just the bars and that beat. Dun, 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 dun. I'm like, yo, I miss her. I do miss
Yeah.
her. You
Yep,
know.
yep.
So I think the break is a good thing. I think if she was to come out now or drop a song now, people would
It's
love
gonna
it
be
because
fire?
people
Okay.
miss it.
Yeah.
But
Alright.
what I'm saying is, do you feel like the disrespect for the Grammys, like even now with what's his name from that
Weeknd?
boy group? Not the Weeknd too, but the other one,
Zayn Malik?
Zayn,
Zayn,
like
yeah.
Zayn boycotting them. Justin Bieber same way because he's like, oh, my album was an R&B album. I'm like, that's debatable. But you know, so do you feel like people are disrespecting the Grammys now because they feel like the Grammys has been like a snuff this whole time?
Yeah, I think Grammys is not as huge as it used to be before, which is sad.
Yeah,
Because I feel like now anyone can get a Grammy.
yeah.
Lot
You
of
know, as
people.
long as you're
Lot of
people. I'm trying to
like,
get
as long
one.
as you're on, as long as you're on like, you know, the top charts and you're doing good, you can get a Grammy and all that stuff. It's not to do with like music and talent or like sending a message to the fans.
So how did
anymore.
you feel about, was it the Grammys or maybe there's another award show
Which one?
when Kanye thought Beyonce should have won over Taylor Swift?
Taylor Swift?
Oh, the
Yeah.
American
Would-
Music Award.
AMAs is a whole nother
Yeah.
shit. But yeah, it's like even for and I love the AMAs too. How do you feel about like that thing? Do you feel like when she won that year that Beyonce had that's what Puerto Rico
A long
came
time
out.
ago. Yeah.
You
That
know,
was
How do you feel about that? You know, do you feel like those snubs leads into like, fuck the Grammys, I'm gonna come and talk about my WAP, I'm gonna do a stripper pole, I'm gonna be, you know, breaking it down, you know?
It always starts somewhere. So
Yeah.
it's just that, you know, we need to be able to know where to put an end to it. You know what the boundary is and the you know, like
Is there
the
any
thin line.
boundary?
Yeah, is there any
Is
boundary?
there
'Cause,
any
like 10
boundary
years
right
from
now?
10 years
What
from
is
now,
boundaries nowadays?
I
you
know, like
There's no boundary.
I literally
I
cannot
get what she's
watch a
saying.
movie or listen to a song without having to like turn my volume down to like 18 or 19, you know?
yeah.
Just in case, you know, you don't know, you're not
Yeah.
prepared for it,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like what if like we're watching the Grammys with my family and then we had like this, you know, like Vegas strip going on and then
Yeah, I mean,
my mom and dad are just like,
That's
what
that
we're-
performance was a bit risque. I mean, I enjoy a good scissor, but shit, on TV, god damn.
I mean,
I'm
sure.
going to say this on Spotify, y'all. We good.
but yeah, no. That's the trend though. You see,
That is a trend.
20 years
unfortunately.
ago, we're not gonna be able to do this. Right now, this is considered normal. What about 10 years later? What's gonna happen if we continue this trend? And my
I
problem,
mean, what do you want to live like, Devilish Man? You probably never seen that movie. You seen that movie?
My problem is this: if this is a normal and people see Cardi B and these people getting success by selling sex, to this extreme, in order for them to get to be successful, they want to do more. They want to go to a certain extreme more than Cardi B, and then that's my problem with it. And when you see people succeed with it, people copy it.
But then again, it goes to product of your environment, right? Like you're a product of your environment. I'm a product of my environment. Cardi B is a product of her environment. She grew up in the Bronx, being told, to subdue her sexuality. She ended up rebelling, became a stripper to survive. She was on Love and Hip Hop. So she was just taking what she'd learned and selling
That's
it
what
to the
she's
masses.
good at. Yeah.
There's always a time limit to all these sort of acts and everything.
Right.
But the only thing that stays till the end is like the main core of music, the songwriting, the experiences or the nostalgic, experiences and memories that you get when you hear that music. Like, why are we going back to the 80s now?
Right.
It's because we're missing it. Not just the talent, but we miss being happy, like mentally. We don't want to be
Good
like
music.
forced to look a certain way or to do the splits and be flexible into the WAP and everything. And I don't think that, to show empowerment, you need to do that. I mean, we have like so many examples throughout the years of women, just being fully empowered without shedding a single piece of their, garment.
Clothes.
Yeah. Like we have come on, the vice president. Kamala Harris. Like she's not just a person of color. She is like a very empowered woman, and I look at her I look up to her, and I think every young girl out there looks up to her because like she got to be the vice president.
That's very true, and
so,
she's a woman in power.
Literally. I just think people with on Cardi B's level, Megan Thee Stallion, these people's level, then it is kind of their responsibility to bring up to bring positive vibes
but what
to
do you
future
expect
generation.
from a and this is no shade now. This ain't no shade, but what do you expect from a stripper with a mic? I mean, we ain't selling Schindler's List. You know what I'm saying? Like she, you know what I mean? They come from popping it on.
That's what they're good at. That's what they're good at. Yeah.
Prime example. Cardi B tried that. She came out with a children's book, and the comments was like, "Bitch, you from the pole? We don't listen to you for no children's book." So that's the hard thing about when you give. And I'm not going to label these women as strippers. That's what they used to do. But coming from that background, how can you? Not everyone can be a Kim Kardashian.
No, okay, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Nope.
You know what I mean?
There's only one Kim Kardashian.
Off a little slap pot, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, you can tell a different story. You know, like we were talking about brand, right? 3 years later, you might be a different brand. 3 years later, Cardi B might be a different brand.
She might come out with some Dr. Seuss books.
Well, I don't know what she wants to do.
Green eggs and ham, slap my Sam. Hey!
It's so sad because, right now we got Dr. Seuss is gone. It's just so sad.
I grew up on him, and I had to go back and read those books. Like, what the fuck he was saying was racist. I was like, there's your two dots. You started reading, you're like, oh, that bitch. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. I mean, not just in terms of music, but I feel like in 3 years or even 5 years from now, you won't see 12-year-olds playing with toys anymore. You would be them rapping and singing about their sexuality, and I that's fine, that's okay. But is that what you want to do?
Kids nowadays also way faster than
they are.
I was when they talk about sex
fast.
and all these things, and I'm just like, I was outside during that age. I wasn't even thinking about stuff like that. I was playing sports. Now these kids be, doing all types of wops.
Think about who influenced them, though.
Yeah.
The music they listen to.
Yeah, the music, what you put in your brain, what you listen to, it really makes a huge difference.
And
especially
no
in a
one's
child's
their parents,
mind.
but then, my colleague friend, he has a 1-year-old baby, which is my goddaughter Millie. Hey Millie. Even now, and it's not my kid, but I have to think if I hang out with Millie or when I'm with Millie, I'll cuss around Millie. I'm like, oh my bad, Millie, don't say that word. But that's kind of you start to think about as a parent when you have your kids, well, how much do you want to, Donovan has a kid, Adrian don't watch certain things, right? That's my favorite person, one of my favorite person in the world, little Adrian. But you know what I mean? So it becomes this thing of like, what is, you don't want to box your kids in, because at the same time, it's like when you tell your kid, no, they're gonna go do it anyway.
Yeah.
So it's hard. It's a hard thing. So we do this segment called "Does it slap or is it whack?" So meaning, does it slap means like, is it lit? This is what you like, or is whack? This is from Mike. Slap or whack? Billie, is it Eilish?
Billie Eilish? Yeah.
Eilish. Slap or whack?
Is there a middle?
No. You gotta be either one or the other, homegirl.
Because I don't want to like offend people or something like that.
Oh, please. Agent Soulful.
She is slap.
Okay.
She slaps. Okay.
But sometimes it can turn into a whack.
Tell us more about it. What do you mean by that?
I mean, we were just, talking about like technology taking over like the talent and everything. She did create a new trend and a new style of music, which everybody loves right now. But the whispering is just like, are you singing or are you whispering? Like, what should we judge you based on? Like your singing ability or your talent, or your whispering ability?
Your
like, oh, you whisper too good. You whisper in tune or in melody. Like,
right. Because
she's a good harmonizer.
What's that one new song she got out?
Therefore I Am.
But it starts with like a whisper, right?
All of her songs start.
Oh yeah, but I don't know.
I mean, I agree with Shannon. I mean, I think she whack.
She whack. Okay.
I think she whack.
Okay.
But then again, if I were to choose between Cardi B and Billie Eilish, I would go for Billie Eilish.
Really?
Because her music is dope. Her songwriting is so it's cool too. And the first song that she came up with, what was it? Ocean Eyes, yeah. That's pretty. That's beautiful.
That's a beautiful song.
Don't she sing about what? Maybe I'm confused. Didn't she have like her following was like very like a alternative type following?
A little bit.
Came out
when she came out with it's not a pop music. It's alternative music, I think.
I'm not gonna say I think her, like, I've seen her interviews. I like her as a person. I think she slaps. Like, she cool, she down to earth. I'm like, I can fuck with. Musically, I think I'm still trying to learn her a little more.
Yeah.
So that's why I said it's whack to me, and that's in the most, like they say in the industry, a respectful pass. It was a respectful whack because I'm still learning her music. I'm still trying to really get into it because I think her music kind of makes me a little depressed sometimes. You know what I mean? When I listen to it, I oftentimes I change the channel. I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I don't understand what you're talking about. And like a lot of people are just like, I connect to this song from a very...
because depression was a thing last year. It was a very big thing, So
she got so many Grammys. Come on. I mean, it's not even a joke right now. I think she got like...
Did she get them?
Did she... Well,
did she get them from the fans or did
talk about it.
Oh, that's a good. I don't know.
Getting over the Grammys from Ariana Grande, Lana Del Rey.
Overall.
These women have been in the industry for
a long
time.
But she did create an aesthetic. Did you?
But that doesn't mean you get to win 11 Grammys.
She got 11 Grammys? No way.
Mic check.
10 or 11. How many? I don't know. 10
I'm
or
just
11,
saying.
Her brother is talented.
Who's her brother?
Phineas. He is the one who produces all her songs.
The songs.
Okay.
All her songs.
Her brand is cool. It's like dark and it's
mysterious.
It's
green hair.
Yeah. I love
very 2000 alternative rock.
Yeah, but you need to think about it. Like she had she was signed to the label at the age of 12 or 14 or something like that.
Yeah.
So she had the support.
Yeah.
She had people working on her brand, on her music, on her everything.
It goes back to that branding.
Yeah, and when she got out there, her team, her label, they did everything to push that out. So it wasn't like I'm starting off as a YouTube cover or a YouTuber, trying to get myself out there.
So you were saying that essentially the record label kind of bought her some Grammys. Is that kind of what you're saying, in a way?
Well. We'll just let the people decide then. Check under the comments, on Instagram.
There you go. What do you think, Mike? Is she slap or is she whack?
I think she slaps. Actually, it's a every single era we have this breakout artist who creates a new aesthetic.
Yeah.
It does not mean this person is super talented vocally or doing certain things. I just feel like her and the brother both of them, they make really fire track. They, you know,
They do, yeah.
Yeah. That's, I don't care about her music. Are you whispering? Are you singing? That's just a vocal track. You know, on top of the vocal track, there's so much layer. You know, when I saw their Logic, you know, the file when they put it out, there's like 20 vocal tracks going on at the same time to create that kind of atmosphere, and nobody does that before. And the drum, the kick, the bass, and all that stuff is super, like, you know, the Bad Guy, that song, right? It you know, it's just really, I think it's very well produced, and they created this new genre. Nobody, it's not pop, it's not really alternative. What is it? You cannot really categorize it into a specific genre. For that sense, I think he's a pioneer. You know,
A pioneer
in terms of building.
You like giving people flowers real early.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's just what I think. All right, next one. Next
she
one.
said Cardi B, I'm not going to do it. So I'm going to hit you with a real different one. And y'all might not even know this, actually. Slap or whack, Crocs.
Crocs?
Yeah.
What's that?
Oh, the thing that you wear, right?
Yeah, little Crocs.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen all the young kids?
Oh, okay.
I like them. I don't have them, but I would say, hard one. Okay. Slap.
Slap.
Yep.
You what do you think?
I'm gonna say whack. I just think they
Nobody
ugly.
wears that shit right
If
now.
I was taller, I would have worn them, but
Yeah?
I'm always wearing heels.
It's funny because I see a lot of
People wear that right now?
guys
Really?
wearing Crocs. Like people, no, it's a thing.
Yep.
Crocs
yep.
is a thing. And we used to make fun of it
You're
because we
talking
used to
about
go,
a decade ago, right?
no, this is even now. People wear Crocs.
Are you talking about the classic Crocs without socks and, you know, like kind of the slipper, sandal, like with the
exactly.
thing, the strap?
Yeah, we'll put a picture up on the video. But
Okay,
yeah, Crocs. That's a thing.
People still wear that right now?
We
That's
had
whack
this
as
TV
hell.
show.
That's ugly as
We had this
hell.
TV show.
Oh
We
my gosh.
was pitching in 2018 with this big time producer, and he would show up in his Tesla. This is like Tesla shit came out 2018, right? It was all high. He wanted to get one. And he would always step out the car, but it was like he had a white Tesla tint windows. But every time he stepped in the car, you just saw his foot go like this, and it was Crocs. And it was like, how the fuck you drive a Tesla and wearing Crocs? But it was just always funny to see this older man. Hope you ain't listening. You know,
That's what I'm saying.
Crocs,
It's for dad shoe. It's
like a dad shoe.
It is
yeah. I mean, I think they're whack.
I think they're whack
I think
as
still
fuck.
stylistically, maybe I'm an old school. Give me a nice little slip, little Nike. You know, I'm an old athlete, so like, you know, flip little thing.
They
but
got they got Yeezys right now. You know,
What's
little
Yeezys?
Kanye West. You know, is Yeezy brand. You know, it's they got this
no more money in that
sandals
motherfucker.
that's very similar to Crocs, and then they're
What
making
they
a
look like
comeback.
rocks. You know, he got weird ass designs. You know, you ever see the Yeezys and stuff like that? They kind of weird, man.
I like them.
You own some Yeezys?
Yeah.
Slap or whack?
Okay.
Chipotle or Taco Bell?
So Chipotle, slap. Taco Bell, whack.
Okay.
I agree. I don't like Taco Bell at all.
I used to fuck with Taco Bell back in the day. When Taco Bell first came out, that shit was lit. They used to have this shit called the Mexi Melt.
Yeah.
And they got rid of it.
Yeah.
Rid of it, and I hate it. But I agree. Chipotle's, it slaps.
Slaps,
It
yep.
slaps.
Yep.
I think they have a pretty good brand out there. It's healthy, you know, it's kind of tasty, and it's a chain restaurant. The quality is the same, you know, and it's not that expensive. So I think it's cool. I
All right.
agree.
Slap or whack? The Kardashian family.
Kardashian family.
Wait, like all of them?
All
Or
of them.
Just like
All of
one
them.
in particular?
All of them.
You have the individual likes?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Ooh. Okay, so based on like all the conversations I've had and all that stuff, it's slap and whack.
Oh, you like to do both. You don't like to choose. When's your birthday again?
June 16th. I'm a Gemini.
I knew it. I was like, why is she so decisive? Okay.
No, because again, it's just like slap because they're like cool. They built an empire and everything, and they're just like wow, they're like amazing, you know.
Yeah.
And whack because of how they got there, what they did. So, but
What you mean? How they got there? You mean from Kim's?
yeah, like
sex
from
tape?
Kim's and all that. If it was just a reality show, then I'm sure it would have been like just, you know, amazing.
Right.
And I love the fact that they're all like always sticking together, you know, sisters helping each other, you know, creating like makeup products and
sisterhood.
brands. Yeah, everything. That's slap. Okay? That's really cool because I don't see that a lot over here nowadays. You know, I feel like being with family is kind of like, it's just like you're weird if you still live with your family or something like that, you know? So I do like that, you know, supporting each other and all like women and everything. But yeah, it's whack sometimes, of like, especially because of the whole photoshopping on social media.
Really?
You
Well,
know,
didn't she come out with like it was fake or something?
they are coming out right now, but before it was just like, oh my God, I need to look like the Kardashian. I need to have like the big stuff going on,
big
you know, like the
booty.
lips and
Right.
everything to be able to look beautiful. Like they kind of labeled the women in a certain way and everything. So in that case, it is whack. Because not everybody can be a Kardashian. Not everybody can be that
Everybody
rich.
can't be Sean Kardashian.
Like, you know.
That's you.
Yeah. Well, Mike,
Sean
what you think? I know
Kardashian.
Mike's. Here we go. What's Mike? Go ahead.
I think it's
you put it on the damn
no,
list.
I did. You know, I want to ask her opinion on this. I think it slaps. I think they're really talented family.
Okay.
In
They're
terms of
they're not talented. They're smart.
they're in terms of their marketing. I think
Yeah, they're smart.
real good at that. You know, it's just like how Kris Jenner, right, brought up Kylie, you know, as a young girl, and then how she developed her into this figure. Right now, she's a fashion mogul. Right now, she's a billionaire. Come on,
She's a businesswoman.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I
think,
No, I like it. I mean, I listen. I'm a Kardashian fan.
Yeah.
I love all of them. I mean, I think they slap. I think my devil's advocate with Shannon, don't beat me up, is I get what you mean by like the way they got there. And like, you know, when you really dive into the story about, you know, the sex tape, right? And her and Ray J, and people forget, like, she was dating Ray J for some years. It wasn't like they just met and did 6 months, and she was a stylist for Brandy. You know, so she styled Brandy, his sister. Obviously, she met Ray J. They dated, I think, from what I know, at least they dated at least over 2-3 years. And then, like any couple, they wanted to, you know, spice it up. And then the tape, air quotations, got leaked. So in that instance, in the previous episode we talked about was like, how do you pivot from a sex tape, right? Now we know, so, and we like to kind of always do that here. You know, we go, here's the bad, how you know,
turn that into good.
turn into good. So it's like, you know, she was already obviously on social media. She was hanging with Paris Hilton. She was dating Ray J. At that point, Ray J was, you know, if I had one wish, you know what I mean?
He had a pretty
he had some
good
music.
artist. Yeah, he's a pretty
so
good
she
artist.
was dating a celebrity, and then for that to come out, it's like, okay, what do I do? Do I go back? Do I go home and feel sorry for myself? Do I just cover my face up? Or do I embrace this situation and got her mom, and which they talk about on the show too, if you watch earlier episodes with Chris, how do we turn this? Okay, if this is going to happen, then we need to make sure how do we turn this into something that's going to do help you?
Yeah.
And if you're okay with it, then yes, and you got the offer at that time for $1 million. You know, and people think the Kardashians were always like super rich. They was like middle class. Her dad was a lawyer. You know, Chris was working as a airline stewardess. They wasn't like super rich. They had a small ass fucking house in Calabasas. What you see now is what they built over the years, but it was a very slow coming with the whole OJ case. Then the Kim's dad passed away. Then the sex tape. So it was like, how do we form a business out of this? Which is what they did. So, you know, I do agree when it comes to the way they did it with the sex tape and all that. But it was also like, that had to happen for what had created. And I think she's done a great job since then on branding herself outside of that. And I think what she does well is she doesn't shy away from that.
She was also mentioning, like, you know, they put out these body images to mass public where it's unrealistic. So it, you know, has some negative effects to young girls. I think that's what was also what you're saying, that part of the reason that they're whack. What do you say to that?
I mean, I love Chloe. Shout out Chloe, homie. I love Chloe. When you meet Chloe, she's so cool. Like, she's so down to earth. Like, she's just, you could talk to her. She's the type of girl you want to go to a bar, have a drink with, and just like talk. Like, so when you see what you see on Instagram, and then when you actually meet her and talk to her,
completely different.
it's so different. So like me, I might be biased because I've met her, I've known her, I sat down and talked with her. and to know what people portray with her online is not who she is. You know, me and Matt was talking about it one time about it as well. I ain't gonna go in that story. I don't know why I brought that up, but I think like she pivoted, right? That the body thing came out. She's like, no, I've been working out. I've been doing this. But she told the truth. She came out. She did no filters. She talked about if she did work or whatever. And I think that's what you have to own up to everything you do in life. Like anything you do, as much as you want to feel embarrassed about it, you just have to own up. That's the thing about being vulnerable. You know, you as an artist, you have to have some sense of vulnerability. Like when I tell actors, right? When actors come into this game, I always tell them, you have to have a sense of vulnerability. You can't come into being an actor and feel like you want to box yourself and only do certain roles or do certain things. Like, you know, I have clients who say, well, you know, Sean, I don't want to do that role because that should be for someone that's in the LGBTQ, right? And I'm like, so if it's not an LGBTQ role, should that person who's also in that alphabet family say, oh, I don't want to do that. That should be someone for the straight world. No, you're an actor.
Yep.
Your job is to portray a role, a character, to embody whoever that is. And if you, as an actor, if you tell anyone that's a casting director or producer that's really into their field and say, I'm not comfortable with doing that role, then you don't want to be an actor, because being an actor is uncomfortability. Just like in work, just like in business. You should never feel comfortable in your business. You should always feel uncomfortable. Like when people ask you, how you doing? You know, it's business, this is busy. And people say that because it is that. Yep. But you need to have that, because the moment you start feeling comfortable, then you're going to feel a plateau. So you should always be uncomfortable.
I like that.
Even as an artist, right? You put out a song, your videos are doing amazing, right? You getting, you know, I mean, Shannon K got some numbers, y'all. Shannon got some numbers. But at some point, you can easily feel comfortable, right? You can feel comfortable like, oh, okay, I got 3.1 million followers on Instagram. I got 40 million views on this. But that can all go away. That can all be sustainable. So how do I elevate? So you should always feel like, as an artist too, I have to be uncomfortable every 24 seconds. You know why? Because Mike, in your field, there's always going to be a better real estate agent. That's just how it is. In my field, there's always going to be a better manager and producer. I'm just saying that for the camera. I'm the best. But what I'm saying is, so it's just all about uncomfortability, and I think you have to be able to be vulnerable, like Chloe did, where just own up to it. You know, be uncomfortable.
And
you know?
people actually like them even more. After people being vulnerable in front of camera, I think it's actually a thing that you know, people do nowadays. They try to be more vulnerable in front of camera to build more goodwill.
That goes in relationships too. Listen, I think when you know, you go on dates. You go on dates? You dating?
No.
Not yet? Okay. But when you start dating, you get married. Oh, I was like, that knows Indian culture. You got planned wedding coming. Oh,
in
shit.
Indian culture, that
real?
does happen. No, I'm not getting married right
Like,
yet.
damn, I had a chance. I ain't
getting
married. Oh, no damn drink. Damn. But no, shit. What I was about to say. We were talking about what?
We're talking about culture.
Vulnerability, relationships.
Oh, yeah.
Damn it. I missed with the point I was going to say. Oh, it was like dating.
Yep.
So like when I started dating, I hate when, you know, you go on dates, everyone's like 20 questions, right?
Yeah.
And one of the questions was like, you know, what is a one negative about yourself? Of course you always say, ain't no negative over here. But there is always a negative for us. So mine was vulnerability. I couldn't be vulnerable with anyone because, you know, growing up, it was always about being tough, being strong, being that pillar, being able, if Mike or Shannon or Diamond needs someone to talk to, I'm going to be like that rock. So it was never a point where in relationship, because I was so used to being that, that I can just like, I can cry, I can hold you, be like, bitch, why you crying? Like, you know what I mean? So that it goes into relationship too. Like being vulnerable is like everyone always says normalize, right? Normalization. Like you have to normalize being vulnerable, even as a man. Because we're so used to women being able to be vulnerable and be that caretaker, but it's important for as a man as well to know how to be vulnerable. Like, you know, me and Mike I was laughing because we did this the ski challenge. Have you seen that? The ski, yeah. So I was like, Mike, I'm gonna challenge you. Mike was like, bro, it's not my thing. I'm like, Mike, you gotta be vulnerable, man. You know,
Bro, that's not it. That doesn't fit the brand, bro.
What you mean? It's no brand. It's
no way you're talking about it.
Okay, talk about brand, right? If you work in social media, what's the main thing about social media that people like to see every day?
In like what?
Like if I'm going on your pages, what is the main thing as a brand, as an artist, what you have to put out on your social media?
My music, myself,
Content, right?
Yeah, content, yep.
All I'm saying is if we're a podcast that brands, I'm just using us for example, the content's important. So whether you're doing as a host, because what that does is create like, okay, yeah, I know Mike is on Agent Soulful, or Sean's on Agent Soulful, Shannon's on Agent Soulful, so I'm getting to know these guys. Oh, but I get to see Mike. Oh, okay, Mike is fun. Okay, cool. I like that. It gives you that vulnerability of your viewers then getting to know you more. Like, oh, Mike likes to do the challenges. That's dope. And it creates a conversation. That's what I'm saying. It's vulnerability.
It connects you more to the people because there's a massive wall. There's a massive wall between like you on social media compared to like you in person.
Right.
So I get that a lot with people saying like, oh, I'm so mature, I'm so boring, I'm not fun. But in reality, I am crazy once you get to know me. It's just,
to all the guys who want to date Shannon, she just admitted that she's crazy.
She's crazy.
I am crazy. I'm a drama queen. I come from Bollywood, so you'll get to see a lot of personalities. And I'm a Gemini, so come on. You need to be able to handle me.
Yes! You better listen. Shannon, are you dating though? Are you dating?
I'm not.
Are you available?
I am available, yes.
Oh,
but
so what's let's set the scene here. Spit the game. What type of
I am
guys you
single,
like?
but I am looking for someone who would respect me, value me, old school.
Okay, you want a gentleman.
Yeah. I'm a gentleman.
Are you more like on a date or do you like a date that's planned out where it's like, we're gonna go horseback riding, or we're gonna go sit on the beach and with a fire and picnic? Or are you more like, no, I'm cool, just like, going to get something to eat and get to know you? Like, kind of, what type of girl are you when it comes to?
I'd say both.
Okay.
Just like surprise me.
Okay.
You be creative, be adventurous, don't be boring.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I don't like the whole I do like the getting to know each other, but I don't do that. Like, start off with being friends with me, because that's when you're gonna know the true me.
Now, because I'm a man of a certain age, I teach them about a little dating. Because that friend word is you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you say like, you don't treat me as a friend.
A lot of people don't like that.
It could put you in a situation where, say, if you like this guy, right?
Yeah.
And then he treats you like a friend, and then next y'all just become friends.
Yeah.
Does that? I mean, that could confuse someone, right?
No, absolutely.
Okay.
I think you should just be clear with your actions. Like, don't flirt until you like that person. I mean, don't give mixed signals. That's what I don't like as well.
Okay.
But,
well, you can't. You're a Gemini. What? Mixed signal? What? I already can't pick what type of water I want. So
because I just feel like you just be like, start off with being friends, casual. So like, there's no pressure into like, impressing someone or getting to know each other. Like, you would get to know each other eventually, like when you become friends and all that stuff.
Right.
But yeah, if you start having feelings for them, show it even more. Right.
Do you feel in your industry now, where you at in your career, do you feel like you come off a bit intimidating to guys if they look you up and they see oh my gosh, she got 3.1 million followers. Why the hell she wants to date me? Like, do you feel like, is that intimidating for you? And also, it's two questions. And would you rather date someone that's in your industry, or you want someone outside your industry?
All right. So the answer to your first question, it is so funny because I've always had people asking me, like, since the age of 16, why I don't have a boyfriend. And it's just, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. And I think part of it is because how I project myself, or how I look on social media. I feel like a lot of people kind of come to me and be like, yeah, you do look intimidating. You look like, you look like you have plenty of guys in your DMs and all that. Like, why would you pick someone like me? But it's not that, it's just like the connection. If we have that sort of thing, then I will. Yeah, the vibe. I will be your friend. Okay. And everything. And I just feel like you don't judge me based on my social media. That's all I'm gonna say. Because that is who I am. But there's such thing called like being personal and having a private life and everything. So there's not too many things that I can put it out on my social media. You know, my social media is just like a guide to who I am.
Right.
But you need to know me like in person. Like I'm crazy, I'm stupid, I'm dumb, I'm just like all over the place. I have no idea what's going on. Like on social media, I know exactly what's going on.
Right,
like
as you control that narrative.
Yeah, you know, like I'm an artist. I know this, I know that. I'm very like educated and knowledgeable. But in reality, I don't know a lot of things, and it's fine, you know? I'm very shy, very introvert, I'm very conservative.
It's better than not to say you don't know than you know, so you won't come off ignorant, so.
Yeah, I have knowledge. I observe a lot more than I talk. So, yeah. And then to your second question, I don't know. It just, if I find him and we click, we click. I don't really...
No matter.
Yeah, no matter what.
Because oftentimes it's hard to date someone that's not in your industry.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause, you know, the understandability of late night studio sessions or your songwriting sessions or you got to do some for interviews. And, you know, oftentimes, you know, everyone gets emotionally selfish and they want their time and they want this and they want that. And you also have to prioritize your business and what you do as an artist, entrepreneur, you know. It do come off hard because, you know, I dealt with that where it's like, oh, you do this, or I had to counsel, could I have this client or that? And when they don't understand, it's hard where someone in your industry, it's like, okay, babe, I get it. Yeah. All right, hit me when you're done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
So,
I think it's like relationship is not as like simple as it sounds. Like love is not as simple as it sounds.
Right. That's a song for you. Just give me 1% in the back and I'm good.
It's commitment. It's trust, you know?
Right.
And I think the biggest example for me is like my parents. Like my mom, she's not from like the artistic field at all.
Okay.
And she was just my dad's fan and she ended up being in his, like, you know, getting his autograph in one of his recording sessions. And my dad actually fell for her. And he invited her.
He fell for a fan?
Yeah, he found her.
Go, Mom. Mom was like, I want an autograph in your number.
No, she was just there to get her, you know, to get his autograph, like just as a fan. She had no, like, you know, no expectations or everything. But he did. He fell for her innocence, you know. And I think why he fell for her is because she is not from the industry, so she doesn't know business and everything.
Balance,
and but she understood him, like, you know, that it's his work, and she let him be free with his, you know, creativity and all that stuff. And till today, you know, they're together, touch wood. And it's just like communication and building that trust with each other, you know. That's and great. Understanding like, hey, he's gonna be busy and all that stuff. Like he, you know, he comes over to us like every once a month or something like that. So to be able to also have that long distance thing going for so long.
So where your mom live at?
She lives with me right now with my sister.
And your dad is in India?
Yeah, so he's in India. You know, that's where his work is at and everything. And you know, so this is kind of like been happening for 22 years now.
That's true love.
That's
awesome.
That is true love.
Yeah.
Long distance, I'm in the camera. Long distance.
So your dad is always in India and your mom is always like...
My mom has always been with us, you know, because she's a mom and she wants to take care of us, obviously, and go wherever we go.
Right.
But dad, you know, because of his work, he's always traveling around, you know, touring and doing stuff and all that. But so yeah,
that's good. Kudos to your mom, man, for the slick Rick move and then grabbing it up. She a player. I love it. But also, I agree with you because, you know, in our industry, even probably for Mike too. Mike's in real estate. Like, you want to have that partner that understands that you work in a certain industry where Mike is on 24/7, 7 days a week. I mean, I don't even know how you take a shit half the time, but I'm just saying, like,
he doesn't go on dates though, right?
Ooh, well, that's a good question. We're gonna unpack that too. But like, you do want someone that can be able to understand that because, you know, even for me, I love to come home and be like, even if that person worked at a whole other job, whether they work for the city or I don't care if they worked at Ralph's. I'd rather hear about, so what happened in Ralph's today? But you know what I mean? Like, because it's such a off from my day. I don't want to be able to come home and talk to work again. Like, oh, this happened in Hollywood, or this happened, or this gossip has happened. Like, I get tired of that. I was like, I'd rather come home like, oh, so what happened, Ralph? Well, you know, Susie back in the meatpacking district, and they cut the wrong cheese. Really? I would be cool with that. You know what I mean? Because it's just like, it's totally outside of what I agree
do,
with you.
Yeah, no, I think it's probably better that way to have somebody not in the same industry, so you don't have to, like, it's a switch off, right? You're on, and then when you go back, you're off.
Yeah, you are.
I think that's cool.
Yeah,
I agree with
Mike,
you.
you dating, Mike? I mean, Shannon
not really.
asked.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I'm not
Answer
really
her
dating.
question.
Yeah, not
Mike,
really
Mike
dating.
saying dating might be like, oh, just go for lunch, but it's a date. Might be trying with the okie doke, like let's go for lunch, and I'll be like, and I literally asked Mike the last time. I was like, Mike, that don't confuse the girl.
Nah,
When
you tell them. You tell them beforehand. You know what I mean?
Wait,
they
how-
know.
Wait, what? You tell them before it's a date?
No, yeah, no, they know that. They know that at the beginning you set the tone and everything. All right, it's just
But
not
no,
a
how do you
work
set
lunch.
the tone?
It's not a work lunch. You mean what?
Spit the game, Shannon
What
and
are you
Shannon. Spit the game, Mike.
No.
You know that segment, Spit the Game. If Shannon, you meet Shannon at one of your new, Shannon's buying a house, right? Shannon's going to buy a house. Where you want to live at?
Hollywood Hills.
Yeah, it's near me. So, so she want to go to Hollywood Hills. She goes to your listing, right? She's a potential buyer,
Oh, she's a buyer. Okay.
She's a buyer.
Okay, all right.
and you find Shannon attractive. Spit the game. So I just want to know, because as a woman, so she not confused. Explain.
So first, I ask you a couple questions. Hey, you know where you come from, right? Would you like? Is that buying cash? Are you doing loan? I mean, at least get through
You
a little
bored
bit of
to
that.
death. Go ahead, go
A
ahead.
little bit of that. Yeah,
right,
no
bye.
boring.
Bye.
But she said bye.
Yes.
But you come to see the house. Come on, I'm a real estate agent. Come on, I gotta sell the house
that,
first.
Mike. Fuck that.
What
Mike.
are you talking about?
The house is already sold, right?
No.
You need
walk
to
in
be
there.
smooth with your talk. You need to be able to give hints that you like them. Because, like, hey, you got no time. She may be like, got
that's
another
true.
date, you know?
That's true.
So you can't be talking
Exactly.
about the
No, I
house.
will actually-
When
At
you
the-
see shit,
at
like,
the
oh my
end.
God, just knows your rings. Like, where you get your rings from? Shannon, go, French tips, right?
Yeah.
French tips. Boom. Oh, you came. Okay, so French tips. You talk about the nails, jewelry. Then you can go into like, so what brings you to the hills?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking to buy. Okay. Then you say, so where you from originally? Like, you gotta, you know what I'm saying? Come on, Mike.
You gotta teach me.
Teach me too. Teach me too. I think I'm
Teach
gonna be
me.
single like till
Yeah,
40.
no,
so.
yeah, it's
No, well, you're not gonna be.
yeah.
Trust me, you're not gonna be single to 40. I'm sure there's a lot of guys that's probably in your DMs.
Then again, they don't come. Like they're in the. Oh, where are they? I don't see them.
You gotta go see the
I don't
section
see
of the
the
DMs.
guys.
You gotta go. You swipe on
I
the
don't
other
see the
side, and
guys.
you go where? Oh, that's the ones.
Nobody reaches out to me. It's so sad. They always pick the other one. Like, I think that's why.
You should. Do you do live chats on your?
Instagram
Instagram?
Live.
Very rare.
So you can do more of those. Well, this release, watch, you're going to get a lot of big. Oh, what? Shannon said what? And no one's hitting
Oh,
her
you're
up?
gonna get
No.
a lot of DMs.
They're going to be like,
You're gonna get a lot of DMs.
and then Mike will get all the dating coaches in his DMs. Like Shannon said,
Yeah.
you got to be smooth.
That's
you know
true.
what I mean?
That's true.
And what are some of the misconceptions people think of you though? And like since we talking about in the dating thing now, like is there any negatives that you feel like? Have you been on? You say you haven't dated, so you haven't been on no dates.
No.
Not one. Not like black people say, nan one.
I've been on lunch and stuff that has.
Oh, it was a lunch? It was a lunch?
That has turned out to be a date, but then I realized it after. That's because I
Oh,
don't
okay.
know, you
That's,
know,
that-
like those
it didn't
type
make
of
it
things.
Are you
clear.
referring to the lunch you had or just in general?
Like in general, like when I get called for a lunch and it's just
Okay.
one-on-one, and then it just turns out to be like, it feels like a date because they're asking like 21 questions. And then they buy you like coffee and all that stuff, and then you're just there for 2 hours, and my mom's texting me like, where are you? And I'm like, hold up, I'm just
Oh
like
my
on the
gosh.
19th question. Wait.
Oh, that is hilarious.
But it's not. I do, but I think like I'm more of a just like falling in love with someone like maybe my age or a bit older, and just
Okay.
casually going
I
out
feel
to
like I see you as someone older though.
like going out down to the beach
Yeah.
and just chill.
Because
you
you are like I'm obviously we meeting for the first time.
Yeah.
It's a blind date, y'all, on the podcast. But like just like talking to you, I feel like because you have a certain values, you
Yeah.
have certain maturity to you. I feel like older,
Older
and I ain't talking
people.
about 50, obviously, but I'm just saying
Yeah,
like,
no.
you know, maybe
someone
20.
who understands me. Yeah,
Exactly.
no,
Yeah.
absolutely. No,
Okay.
no. I don't want someone like to smoke weed with. No.
No, exactly.
Doesn't happen.
Yeah, no. And also, because I have little sisters, like if I'm playing Big Brother, yeah, you're gonna unfortunately have some heartbreaks.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna meet someone that's, if you're your age now and 21, 23, there's gonna be some mishaps, but that's only gonna make for better music. That's why I always say it's gonna be
Yes.
fun to see you, 5 years from now, even 3 years from now, when you go on your first day or your boy get in a relationship. hopefully that you don't turn Mary J. Blige, which is great. She's still great, but your music would be so much different because music is like, again, it's the interpretation of life and things you go through and all that.
No,
So.
for sure. I think it would just certainly reflect on music. Maybe it will get a bit more romantic. I don't know.
I think we got a couple songs here right now. You got Lunch Date, just you should write Lunch Date. And you got Spit the Game, like all that. See, that's the Ariana Grande coming out now. See?
Yeah.
I love
But then again, I have never been in a relationship, so that gives a chance.
Never, ever?
No, never, ever. I've
Really?
had crushes, and those crushes have crushed me. But it's not. I've never been like
Not even-
together, holding hands and doing that.
Come on.
Classic
What the guys
thing.
at? Shannon's on here.
All right.
She's available. She's talented. she got a lot of followers. So if you fuck her over, they gonna come after you. You got like hashtag. Like Rihanna Navy. What do you call it?
Shannonators.
Shannonators. Oh, what's
wow.
up? Shout out to Shannonators.
Yeah, shout out. I love you.
Shout out. So wow, we gotta get you. Don't rush it though.
Yeah, no, I do get DMs though. Like I think one time I went live with my dad, and then they were like, or I think I did those questionnaire things on Instagram.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it was for my dad, and then there were like a bunch of people asking for like marriage, and then I was like proposing me, and my dad was like,
Oh my gosh.
my dad was like, nope.
Over Instagram?
Yeah,
Well,
it's like,
they say it's
Shannon,
part of culture,
would you
right?
marry me? Shannon, I really love you. I want you to be like my
okay,
wife.
that
I want you
kind.
to be my girlfriend and
See,
all
don't-
that kind
listen,
of
your
stuff.
dad might
that's
switch
it.
up on you, be like, so I arranged a marriage.
No, I think it's like more of. I think my parents have given me a little bit of freedom to just choose a guy, but I mean, I'm sure they're gonna do their research as well, so it's gonna be arranged. So it's gonna be like love arranged. It's not gonna be like get married to the stranger.
Yeah. You
know?
gonna bring them home to your mom and dad.
Yeah, I think they definitely want me to find someone whom I can connect with first, and
Yes,
then
you
they can
should.
just like and if I don't, because I don't think I will ever. I'm not sure.
So
I'm
you
so
can't
I'm
put that
terrible at
energy
Yeah, no,
out
it's
I'm
there,
terrible
Shannon
at
K.
it because I like to, I've never been in a relationship like I said before, so like I don't know how it works. I don't know what you have to be.
Trust me,
to be a
no one
girlfriend
knows
or
how love
something.
works. Trust me, look how many divorces Kim Kardashian have. Hey Kim,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
that's the thing about love and relationship is you never, almost like having a baby, right? You don't know how you're gonna be as a parent. So you have to go through it to experience it. Just like jobs and work and business, you got to go through hiccups. You got to go through speed bumps in order to learn from that. So it's like, you know what? I dealt with that. How do I make myself better from that situation? So even in dating, there's no book, to be honest. And sorry for all the people who write these love guru books, but there's really no book to finding true love.
Yeah.
You just got to be, again, that word,
Vulnerable.
hashtag vulnerable.
Yep.
Because if you're not
That's
vulnerable,
true.
because you can easily talk yourself out of a lot of stuff. I mean, I've done it. Everyone's done it where you go and you meet someone, but then all of a sudden you talk yourself out of it. I ain't gonna put nobody on the spot here, but you talk yourself out of love because you start saying, oh, she's not doing this or he's not doing this, or our conversation is this. And so oftentimes you may think it's their fault, but it takes two to tango. You have to be able to reciprocate it. So it's
difficult though.
key.
It's just really difficult to be vulnerable in certain time, and especially after you meet this person just once or twice. Like how do you be so, take off everything, the mask and everything and show my true color? It is very difficult.
Yeah,
and
it
after that, there's just self-talk. You're talking yourself out of it. Oh, she's not the one. She's not compatible. She doesn't know all these. We don't share the same value. It might be true. It might not be true. But you're not giving that person a chance. And I do think that's my problem as well. It's very difficult.
See, Mike was just vulnerable.
It's very difficult.
It's baby steps, brother.
Yeah.
It's baby steps. We all have those issues, but I'm so excited that you came on today.
Me
I learned so
too.
much from you, and I'm excited to hear about more of your music. Please invite us to the video. I can be up in the.
How do we find
in the
you
listener.
on Instagram? Tell
Yeah, my
everybody.
Instagram, Spotify, Apple, everywhere. I'm everywhere.
Any latest songs coming out you working on? Any drops?
Yes, next month.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Coming out with a single. It's gonna be really cool. Totally different from what I've
A
done in the
ballad,
past.
mid-tempo.
Yeah, I think a ballad, but
Okay. Appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank
and,
you.
we look forward to everyone getting to know who you are and following her and also following Asian Soul Food Podcast at Asian Soul Food Podcast, Instagram. But you can just type Asian Soul Food.
It's
But
everywhere.
appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Shannon K.
Thank you.
Shannon
Thank
with a
you.
K.
yes.
The next one probably be a rapper though. I love it. Shannon K. We out. Holla. Thank you.
All right, take it easy.